5 more? Okay. Oh, I'm live. Okay. Hello everyone. How's it going? Yeah, so my name is Julia Makivic, and I will be doing this workshop on rebuilding my broken alternative controller game. So I am a game designer who makes alternative controller games. They tend to have like a bit more of a narrative focus, so I'll just show you a few of the ones that I've made previously so you can kind of get a sense of what I do, and then I'll get into preparing this current game that's broken. So just before I begin, this will require a bit of audience participation. Where can I actually see where the audience is? Is there a chat stream or something that I can view? YouTube. Okay. All right. Oh, great. Where? Okay. Can someone please quickly send me the YouTube link through Discord if that would be all right? Sorry about this. Yeah, but I'll keep going until that happens. So this is sorry. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Awesome. In the same chat. Okay. I can't see Windows. In Zoom chat, I can't see the. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't see the. I can't see the YouTube video link in the Zoom chat. But here, I'll keep going. So basically, yeah, this is so one of the alternative controller games I made was called Ghost Boy in the Land of the Dead, and I'm quickly going to just play this short video. It's not going to have any audio, but I'll just explain the kind of alternative controllers that I made. Yeah. So. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay. Thank you so much. Apologies for this. Okay. All right, great. Sorry about this. And thank you so much. All right. So, anyways, hello everyone. Thank you for bearing with me. So this is the kind of alternative controller games that I make. I made these squishy ghost controllers that were embedded with all sorts of sensors. They had tilt switches and sometimes capacitive touch sensors, and they were made out of silicone rubber. And the way you controlled them was that you just kind of squeezed them a lot. Basically, just like squeezed them, contorted them, and you would make this ghost to do actions in the screen by, like, I guess how you squeeze the ghost, it would affect how the ghost's figure moved around on the screen. And the whole game was kind of like you're controlling you're helping the ghost to navigate the afterlife by controlling its body in the physical realm. So yeah, you just sort of moved it around by grabbing the controller and helping it avoid these demons. Yeah, now I'm going to show a little clip of Void of Memory, which is the game which we will actually be fixing today. It was kind of one of the first large-scale alternative controller games that I made, and it was actually featured in Amaze Open Screens, and it was supposed to represent this futuristic server. And the server was meant to be used as like this sinister tool of surveillance. And in the game, by interfacing with the server, you met a few distinct characters, and you could decide whether or not you wanted to carry out the purpose of the server, or use it to subvert the intentions of the evil company that was operating it. And you kind of decided that based on how the characters influenced you. So the characters would pop up on the screen and they would, just trying to chat with you. And a few seconds ago, you saw me kind of turn an extension of this machine, and those were kind of the main controls. So I'm just gonna speed through to sort of show you what it was mainly about. Oh, actually, fun fact here. This right here was an infrared sensor, which you would bring to the top of the machine. But I sort of discontinued that after it proved to be quite problematic. Apparently, infrared doesn't play well in loud, crowded, unpredictable spaces. So yeah, that got discontinued, but many of the parts still remained the same and kind of continued on throughout its life. Yeah, now these are sort of the key bits. These are kind of these tendrils that belong to the machine, and they contained just simple tilt switches which detected whether the switch was on or off, and those would be the key decision-making tools in the game. Yeah, and so you could kind of choose which tendril to flip, and that would determine the choices which you made. So that's kind of, I guess, the more final version of right here. Yeah, so I'm going to zoom in on this image, but this is like the main case. In addition to the two tilt switches that you see from the video, I also added these extensions to it, which had bronze at the top, and you would kind of like a copper tape at the top, and you would just like put them together to complete a circuit. So I have one right here. As you can see, it's got bronze on the top, and I would take it to one of these, for example, and just like put them together, and that would make a button. One of them would be kind of like the positive end of the button, the other one would be the negative end of the button, and just putting them together completes the circuit. So although the controls on Void of Memory were extremely elaborate, they were all basically just very, very ornate buttons. And in some ways, while that simplified things, I feel like it was sort of a lost opportunity to do something different. And I think this workshop would be an interesting place to try and explore that. So yeah, I guess now that I've shown you what Void of Memory looked like, what it was like, now I guess I can show you Broken Void of Memory in its current form. So yeah, who's ready for that? I'll move my camera now. And this is kind of what it looks like. So but speaking more towards the actual interactions, so shortly I'll be showing you a quick little demo that I put together of some potential sensors that we can use / add to it. Some of them look, yeah, some of them look quite, so yeah, so I've got a few different sensors in here. Some of them are from the original design, and some of them are new. Is everyone having an okay time hearing me? Yeah, but I can start showing you the demo, and we can see what we can do with it. So yeah, this actually got here. I'll show you. So these are the original sensors that I have. Those big elaborate buttons. Okay, cool. Great. Yeah, I've got these big elaborate buttons that we can utilize. I'll show you a short demo with some other added sensors, and we also have the familiar tendril, which we can utilize in some way. That's just a tilt switch. So one thing which I would like to add before I go into the demo is so the big elaborate buttons that I described earlier, they have like this copper like this bronze covering on top. So yeah, I could have used they can still be used as buttons as they were originally, but they can also be used as like capacitive touch sensors. So I think using them as capacitive touch sensors would be a pretty interesting input. So I would be open to exploring that, but please let me know if you would be interested in doing that. All right, so yeah, cool. I'll get to showing you the demo. Cool. So over here, I have an LED matrix. I have an Arduino Mega, which was the original kind of brain of Void of Memory. And I have just an Arduino Uno, which we can use as a spare piece or something to experiment on. I've got this TFT LCD screen, which can display colors and text. Yeah, keep in mind, sometimes these things do tend to get quite complicated. So yeah, there's always room for shenanigans and various technical issues. So that'll be fun. But basically, this is kind of the basic setup. Now I've got a few sensors. So as I mentioned, I've got this capacitive touch sensor. And if I touch it like this now, actually, yeah, sometimes, okay, something is a little bit broken at the moment, but we can debug that later. But if I flip this tendril, basically, yeah, the screen changes color and an interaction happens. This was supposed to make a sound happen and also some different effects, but we can debug that later. We can actually start by totally from scratch and yeah, utilizing the sensor as new. So yeah, fun. I've kind of, yeah, it's a little bit of chaos over here. So I've got so many things popping out of these breadboards. So yeah, I guess I would like to see your input now. So how would you like to go about doing this? Do you want to experiment with the capacitive touch sensor like this one, or would you like to experiment with this tilt switch? I've also got, yeah, I have this little piezo which emits like beeping noises. I've got this TFT screen which can display images, graphics, text, and I also have this LED matrix which has all sorts of fun patterns going on. So does anyone have a place where they would like to start, something which they would like to see? Yeah, I'll wait for some replies to come in. Otherwise, I will just go on ahead and start. Right, someone is awesome. Okay, so people are intrigued by the LEDs and capacitive touch. I think that's a good direction. Let's go with that. All right, cool. Okay, I think everyone likes the LEDs. All right, sweet. All right, let's do that then. All right, awesome. That it is. Okay, we're doing that. Cool. All right, so I think the best way. Oh, the capacitive touch can absolutely detect a gradation of touch. Basically, it can detect whether you're kind of just barely hovering over it. It can also detect whether you've got your hand like, just really grabbing onto it. So it would be kind of cool to experiment with some level of gradations and seeing what can be whether or not the nuances of the capacitive touch sensor can be transferred to the LED matrix. Okay, so let's get started then. I think I'm going to actually get a new breadboard and slowly, and I think I'm going to actually, okay, so I'm going to take a new breadboard to start from scratch. And I'm going to utilize this Arduino Uno just to start off pretty simple. And you can watch me wire it all together, and I'll share my code with you as well. All right, and then I will be able to, and then I'll upload it, and then we can see what happens. All right, exciting. So, all right, I'll lay the Arduino here. I'm gonna lay this breadboard right here. Okay, and I'm gonna slowly start taking sensors out. So these items are for the capacitive touch sensor. So the way it works is we've got the sensor pin. We've got this resistor. It's about like, I don't know if you can see, it's about like 1 mega ohm resistor. And you sort of need like a big resistor to get the different gradations in the level of touch. Also, humans are actually pretty conductive, so putting like I guess a full force of all your electricity on the sensor without like any kind of resistor might actually, sometimes cause it to short, but that's quite extreme. So I'm putting this resistor right here on the breadboard, and it will be connected to this end of the sensor pin. And now I am going to take these 2 wires out, put them in this Arduino right here, and I'm just going to pick 2 random pins. I'm going to pick pins 2 and pin 4. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I've got pins 2 and 4 in there. Now, pin 2 will be the sensor pin. So pin 2 is this purple wire right here. So the purple wire will go over here where the resistor is, and where the sensor is. And that will kind of be its and that will be where it rests on the breadboard, and the other wire will go here. So before I go on to do anything crazy with the LEDs, I'm first just going to test whether or not this sensor works using a very simple example, which just reads in the levels of the sensor. This is also a good thing to do because like capacitive touch is not always reliable. Like it's something which changes according to temperature and your environment. So I was testing this out in the other room, and I got readings which ranged from 0 to 3,000 of whatever units is used to measure the level of capacitive touch. And in this room, I only get like 0 to 1,000. So it varies. And it's always good to check beforehand and then adjust how you measure it accordingly. So I'm just going to show you how that all works in a bit. All right, so I'm connecting it right now. And I'm just going to upload a very, very simple example code to it just to see what we get. I'm actually just going to use the capacitive sensor library and see what happens there. Going to change the board to Arduino Uno. And of course, I have to use the correct port on which the Arduino is located. So now I am just going to upload it and see what it reads. All right, so it claims it's done uploading. All right. And now I'm going to see if it's printing anything out. Oh, right. I should probably change the serial, the baud rate. Yep, and okay. So it's supposed to be reading like 3 sensors at the same time, but I've only got 1 connected, which is why the others are getting negative readings like -2, which makes 0 sense. Now we're actually utilizing only the first column on this. So is anyone seeing the results getting printed out of curiosity? Yeah. So as you can see in kind of the second to the left column, there's like a base reading of 60 or so, 60, 30. Now, if I put my hand on it, that reading should increase in a bit, right? It's increasing to, 1,924. It's going quite a lot. So, cool. All right, awesome. Glad to see people are seeing it. But yeah, as you can see, it's quite, it's going from 60 to 1,900 something when I put my hand on it. But if I just kind of hover like this, wait for a few seconds, and yeah, it's kind of giving me readings of like 100, 132, sort of in the 100s. So I can kind of pick up on proximity. And if I only kind of lightly touch it, it's going to give me readings of, say, all right, 1896, like still in the 900s, but if I'm just kind of barely hovering over it, sort of sticks around in the 1800s. But if I just clamp my hands on it, it just gets very, very high. So yeah, it's kind of a good sensor. I've got this reading is sort of slow. It kind of happens every few seconds, but I can try and find, I'll find a way to make it read faster. And then we'll get to setting up the LED matrix. Actually, you know what? Let's do something fun right now with the LED matrix. It's going to be pretty wild. So I'm just going to set it up on the Arduino as well, and then I'm going to show you like the graphics demo so you can kind of see all that it can do. All right. So this is the LED matrix. It's got 4 pins that we need to connect. It's got trying to freeze some of these wires. Don't mind me. Okay. Okay. This. Right. So one of these wires needs to go to a digital pin, which will be used to send in the data to this LED matrix. So that's kind of what's going to let us run all of the code on it instead of just powering it. And I'm going to put that on pin number 6. Then I need to connect it to power. So I'm just going to connect it directly to 5V. And then finally, I need to connect it to ground as well. So this has 2 inputs for ground. So I'm just going to do that twice. And let me just see whether I got it all correct. It's kind of hard to see here, so sorry for the awkward angles at times. Okay. So that, okay, this is. All right, cool. So I've put this LED matrix in, and now I'm gonna quickly run the demo, and that should be fun. Yep, I'm gonna be running this GFX demo. Does it take skill to not get everything tangled up immediately? Yeah, probably one which I kind of lack at the moment. Well, actually, so yes and no. When you're experimenting on a breadboard, it kind of like it's just going to get messy because there are wires everywhere, and the breadboards aren't always stable. So like it's easy for things to slip out. But once you're sort of sure that you've got it working, it's better to actually start soldering it onto an actual perf board, and then everything will be much more stable, and you'll have more control of it over it, and it will be way more organized. So right now, this is just a live demo, so I figured I would use these for convenience, but as you're working on a prototype, you would want to start on a breadboard, and then you would slowly want to move to soldering onto perf boards just to make it more stable. All right, so let's find our Arduino Uno. Cool, it's all connected, and I'm going to upload this demo, and we'll see if that works. Sometimes it might not, just because the matrix is pretty power hungry, so I will need to power it a little bit more. And yeah, it's uploading. Okay. All right, so the code is uploaded, but the matrix does not seem to be working. So that's probably because it needs more power. Oh, actually, did I? Pin 6, yeah. Let's just make sure I've got my wiring correct. Yep. All right, so I'm just going to add. So I'm just going to connect this 9-volt battery to the matrix just to give it the extra power it needs, because sometimes it just won't run because of that. All right, so gonna need to borrow a couple of wires for this. All right, this one, this green one is gonna go into power right here. And then I'm gonna have this blue one, which is ground, and it's going to go to ground, say, right around here. Actually, I'm going to add it right here. All right. Cool. So let's see if that gets it to work. This matrix can sometimes be kind of finicky, so it might take a few tries. Oh, no, what have I, no, this is incorrect. Well, right. Cool. Increasing the baud rate because that's kind of what this calls for. And I'm just going to upload it again and see if that makes a difference. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. It's returning this error, which I haven't heard of before. But this didn't happen with the Mega. So this is quite interesting. It's claiming that there isn't enough capacity on the screen, even though I was able to get it work multiple times today. So I'm going to move to another. I'm actually going to try and port this all onto the Mega again and see what happens, because yeah, this is interesting. All right. Sorry. Yeah. So this is just the joys of working with electronics, because you never know when it's going to throw a curveball at you. All right, cool. All right, so it works on the Mega, interestingly enough. So I'm not sure what that was up with the Arduino Uno, but that's just it's all trial and error basically. So yeah, great. Okay, gonna switch it back to the Arduino Mega now. All right, seems to be the right port. Yep. Sketch. Okay. Right, so sometimes it does this thing where it doesn't recognize that it's in the port. Right. Yep. All right. Okay, it's having some issues where it's not exactly so it's for some reason not exactly recognizing that it's here basically, and it's sort of hard to gauge sometimes why that is. So I'm just going to try this one more time, and then we can move on to something else. All right. All right, okay. It uploaded, and as you can see, it's kind of going through a different rainbow of colors. So it's kind of hard to see because of the light, but I'll try and bring it up close so you can get a better sense of it. Oh, and of course it disconnected if I move it too much. Okay. All right, it's mad now. Just gonna upload that one more time. All right, here we go again. So hopefully we'll be able to see the demo. I'm gonna keep it down here because it doesn't like it when it moves. Yeah. Yep, it gets to this point, and I think that it just craves more power, more power. It's kind of hard to deal with these things. So thank you all for bearing with me. I'm just gonna alligator clip this battery once again. All right. So let's try this one more time. All right. Hopefully that'll be yeah, what it needs. And after this, yeah, we'll just have to see what else there is. I'm gonna try one more thing. All right, okay, yep, great. So I think that this is pretty much, yeah, what I was able to accomplish today. Thank you so much for bearing with me and all of these technical issues. Basically, feel free to ask me any questions about this. I'm sorry we couldn't get a chance to put the sensors together, but thank you so much for coming here and watching me fiddle around with this LED matrix and listening to me talk about alternative controllers. Yeah. So yeah, thank you all much. Thank you all so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.